All right, then. Okay. I forgot to call Dante. So, Dante's not going to make an appearance. Hey, Dante! It's been a slightly weird morning, though. It was raining at 6:30, so I opted to go back to bed for a little bit. You can see that the humidity is really high because my hair is huge. But part of the reason why I opted to go back to bed is because I have a huge order coming in today. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a little extra rest. So that, oh, there you are. Come here. Come here. No. He came and stood in the doorway and yeah, so he's like, nope, never mind. But also our kitchen lights out. And so like nothing about this morning has been normal. The cats are all like, what the heck? So we are going to do Hidden Power of the Bible. Let's do the housekeeping. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email info@creativelife.org. That gets you one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month. The hot links are hot. Which means click here now means it. It's also a blind CC, so nobody's going to see your emails. So you won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. And when I say one a week, I mean that. It's a real person doing it. He doesn't have time for more than that. The only reason you would get more than one is if something unusual happens. Which, like it's raining. So it's called street flooding. It's a thing here. Especially if we've had a lot of rain in a very short period of time. So, it's almost always weather related, which is the only reason you would get an additional one. So, there's that. Okay, and then let's mention the social media merely from the standpoint of we do not monetize it. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead, go like, subscribe, follow, based on which platform you're on, and then engage with the individual post by reacting, commenting, and sharing. Bumps us in the algorithms, more people see our stuff, which is the whole goal of social media, right? Yeah, so there is that. So it's a free and easy way that you can support the center by getting our stuff in front of more people. All right, now, Hidden Power of the Bible, exactly what it sounds like, although, seriously, it used to be called The Bible in Light of Religious Science. That is just a wild title. Frankly, I think this is a better title. I have a copy of that book. It's a reprint. But obviously, using this one for two reasons. One, this has the preface from Reverend Jesse. And two, the print is a little bit bigger. So, the paper's a little different. So we are currently in the Christian Testament. Yesterday we read Matthew 6, and so today we are going to talk about the various things in Matthew 6. Now, obviously we didn't do all of Matthew 6, but, he pulled out the important parts, and that's what he's doing. He pulls out, I'm going to tell you they're his favorite parts of the Bible, but the parts he says are relevant, that are the most relevant to us today. He would tell you that the entire Bible is still relevant, okay? But these are the parts that he thinks are the most relevant, and then he's going to tell you why. So, we're just going to tackle 2 and then move on to... Yeah. Okay. So we're going to start with the Spirit who seeth in secret, or he also titles it the Father who seeth in secret, but I can be a little weird about that. So the Spirit who seeth in secret. We are not to give our alms before people to be seen by them, but to do good for the pure love of good. Here, Jesus is teaching the lesson of sincerity. We must be free from all hypocrisy and pretense, live a straightforward and unassuming life, free from any attempt to be thought great. People will come and people will go. Friend and foe alike may fall away, but always the soul shall be thrown back upon itself. The indwelling Spirit who lives in the secret place of our lives will ever be with us. In other words, you always have to face you. So do we do things to be seen, or we do things because they are right? That they talk about integrity, and that's exactly what integrity is: doing the right thing when nobody is looking. When you could get away with it. It's about doing the right thing. And that's what he's talking about here. It's like, are you giving because it's the right thing to do, or are you giving to get the accolades? And what the Bible, what the chapter says is, look, if you're giving to be acknowledged, then that's your reward. But if you were giving because it's the right thing to do, then you will be rewarded. And my biggest thing is about integrity and sincerity is I sleep really well at night. Like, I don't worry about, the things that I've done, because, there's nobody who's going to find it. It's the whole reason that lying is not worth it is I don't want to keep track of the lies. I'm going to tell you the truth because I don't want to have to keep track of the lies. That's too much work. It's also, so that's what I'm saying. It's not worth it. I don't have to worry about what I told this person, what I told that person. It's just, none of that is worth it. Also, I just, I don't do that because, it's wrong. But it's too much work. It's too much work, and impressing people is too much work, in my opinion. It just really is. So I'm not going to do it because it's just far too much work. And, that the reward that you get from it, it's not worth it, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. So, but again, what he's saying here is, in the end, you have to face yourself. Can you face yourself in the mirror? The indwelling spirit who lives in the secret place in our lives will ever be with us. And this spirit who seeth in secret and will reward us openly, here again is a suggestion of the law of cause and effect, which Jesus tells us so much about. So, our prayers are to be made to God in a secret place of our own being. They are not to be shouted aloud for the ears of people. The soul must enter the secret place naked and alone. This is how the one returns to the one. So, that's one of those ironic things when you hear, it's like, don't shout your prayers, and yet what do we do every day? Every Sunday? We pray out loud. But it's not a performance. It is not a performance. We are sincerely treating for our congregation. So it's a little different. When we work with clients and we are doing treatment out loud, we are doing treatment for the client, the person. It is a reward in and of itself. Doing treatment for other is just one of those rewards that you're just kind of like, it feels really good to do. So that's the thing. There is a difference between praying for someone and praying for a performance. So, I don't want anybody to think I'm pious just because I pray out, I do the prayers on Sunday. I would rather my life show that than the prayers that I do show that. And that's the difference. Okay, so the secret of prayer. That's the other one we're going to do today. The secret of prayer and its power in the outward life depends upon an unconditional faith in and a reliance upon this inner presence. We must enter the closet. That is, we are to shut out all else and enter the precinct of spirit in quietness and confidence. Believing prayer has power, not through repetition, but by belief and acceptance. Prayer is to be simple, direct, and receiving. Okay. That's when he said that, he just said that. And when Matthew said it in there, it's a reminder that the prayers don't have to be wordy. They can be, okay? I'm a bit of, and David Dewhurst is similar. We both have an economy of words. David's background is in engineering, and honestly, so is mine. I spent 4 years thinking I was going to be a mechanical engineer, and then swapped at the last minute, got a degree in anthropology. Both of us believe in an economy of words. Now, I do happen to like SAT words, so I will use bigger words, but I don't use a lot of words. But I also have Sharon, who's one of our practitioners. She and I went to school together. She's a writer. She loves words. So when she does treatments, she uses a lot of words. Now, she uses a lot of words because she loves words, not because she feels she has to. Okay? And so there's a difference there. You want to use as many words as you need, but you don't have to use big, flowery words. Outside of, like I said, I choose to use, because I like SAT words. You know, when he says a prayer should be simple, what he means is it should resonate with you. The words that you use should mean something to you, and you should use as many or as few as you need. You know, the first 2 steps of treatment, you are recognizing that there is one power and aligning with that power, and you can use as many words as you need to do that, or as few, which is why, you know, I tend to use there is one life, one presence, one power, one love. Now that's 2 more words than Ernest uses, because I added the one love, and I am a part of that. It can be as simple as that. Now, I tend to use a little bit more, especially when I'm doing it on platform, partly to make the steps a little more distinct so that people get a sense of what I'm doing. Because when I am doing it from platform, it is still a teaching. It's like, okay, here are the steps. Here's how to do this. You know, everybody in that room probably knows how to do it, but what if there's somebody new that day? So, you know, when we do those prayers, those public prayers, it's partly about giving a living example. And Ernest gives you plenty of living examples. So, you know, I'm following precedent here. But simple and direct. The prayer isn't about the words. It's about the belief, which is exactly what the next line is. We are to believe that God indwells our own life and that this divine presence is sufficient for all needs. We are to believe that God will provide for and bless us abundantly. And when we enter this secret place, we are to leave all else behind. And that, let me finish the sentence. Okay, and when we enter this secret place, we are to leave all else behind. All hate, animosity, vindictiveness. We are to forgive and forget all that cannot enter heaven. All that cannot enter heaven. For only in doing so can we enter. So when we enter that secret place, we are leaving everything behind that is unlike what we want. Everything that cannot enter heaven, because if there's no place in heaven for hate. There's no place in heaven for animosity. There is no place in heaven for enemies. So we cannot take that into the prayer, because we have to work in alignment with the Spirit. And that's the rules. We're dealing with the law of cause and effect. So we have to, there are rules to this, and we have to follow those rules. We have to pray or treat in alignment with the nature of what we are treating with. There are rules. So that's the secret. And that's why your prayer should be simple, direct, and, use as many or as few words as you need. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a you got this day, a go dance in the rain day, a stay out of the thunderstorms day. The really bad storm is a little north of us. So we're just getting the rain. but it is really dark out there. Enjoy the cooler weather while we have it day. Take care of yourself day. Make sure you make time to sit down and rest day. You got this day. Cuddle your fur babies day. Tell somebody you love them day. Make sure you sit down and rest day. I'm talking to myself here. Don't let them get under your skin day. Yeah, again, talking to myself day. A good day, and if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, an absolutely beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And, as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are godly. So, explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. It's all the divine knows, and that is the good news. So, I don't know what I was about to say. From there, anything's possible. All right, beloveds, as I said, moving into the process of my day, because I've got a heck of a day in front of me. So, I'm just going to remind you, Reverend David will be on sometime this afternoon. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning. I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like because we're supposed to do gym. So take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.